ICE and Border Patrol and all of the people have been so good.
Really? The point-blank execution of Renee Good was far from the first fatal ICE encounter. 3 key facts. Number 1. At least 36 people have lost their lives at the hands of immigration enforcement since Trump returned to office. The real number could be much higher, given how secretive ICE is. The Trace, an outlet that tracks firearm violence, has documented 16 incidents in the last year in which immigration agents have opened fire on civilians. Since they started invading American cities, they have shot at least 3 people who were observing or filming immigration raids, and at least 5 who were driving away from them. Marimar Martinez, an American citizen, was luckier than Renee Good. She miraculously survived being shot 5 times by Border Patrol agent Charles Exum in Chicago, which, by the way, is nowhere near a U.S. border. There are a lot of similarities to Good's execution. Martinez was shot in her car. Body cam footage reveals the agent who shot her called her a and the Trump regime claimed he was acting in self-defense. But Exum's text messages told a different story. He bragged about the incident, boasting to his friends, quote, "I fired 5 rounds and she had 7 holes. Put that in your book, boys." The Trump regime tried to prosecute Martinez, but ultimately dropped the case. As of filming, Exum has not been charged. Most of the ICE fatalities occurred while people were in detention. And counter to the Trump narrative, nearly 75% of the people abducted by ICE have no criminal records. And speaking of criminals, because ICE agents insist on wearing masks, driving unmarked vehicles, and refusing to identify themselves, the FBI is now warning Americans to beware of imposters disguised as ICE agents to commit crimes. How are we supposed to tell the difference between real ICE agents and criminals dressed as ICE agents, if there in fact is a difference? Number 2. The race to turn ICE into America's largest law enforcement agency has resulted in people getting deployed who are unqualified and poorly trained. Trump's big ugly bill devotes $170 billion of your tax dollars to mass deportation and border enforcement. FYI, that would have been enough to pay for more than 5 years of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. In a mad dash to spend that money, ICE has doubled in size in the last year. Have you ever worked at a company that suddenly hired a whole bunch of new, untrained people all at once? It doesn't tend to go well. To boost enrollment, ICE has waived age limits and is offering signing bonuses up to $50,000. And DHS has been running ads that have been criticized for seeming to be aimed specifically at recruiting white nationalists. The training period for ICE recruits reportedly has been slashed to just 47 days. Officials told The Atlantic that the number was chosen to honor the 47th president. And it's not like ICE is getting our best and brightest. There are reports that more than 1/3 of the new recruits can't even pass the agency's fitness standards of being able to do 15 push-ups and 32 sit-ups. Congressman Jamie Raskin has raised the possibility that some of the masked ICE thugs who are now terrorizing American cities could be the same violent criminals who attacked the Capitol on January 6th, and that's why they're concealing their identities.
We have multiple January 6th defendants who are working at the Department of Justice itself, including Ed Martin and Jared Wise. So if they're hiring them at the Department of Justice, presumably they're hiring them at the Homeland Security and ICE, and maybe they don't want them to be identified.
Number 3. There's nothing radical about the call to abolish ICE. ICE didn't even exist until 2003. The PlayStation 2, American Idol, and the 28 Days Later franchise are all older than ICE. There was no such thing as ICE when Billie Eilish was born. America did just fine without ICE for 227 years. It is still a new thing, and the way it's being used now is totally new. Usually, when you try out a new thing and people lose their lives because of it, you get rid of it. Panera Bread discontinued its charged lemonade after only 2 fatalities. ICE was established the same month the U.S. invaded Iraq over weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist. It was the aftermath of 9/11, and we were doing dumb things out of fear. Like the Iraq War, ICE was built on a false premise, the fiction that undocumented immigrants were a national security threat. That has turned out to be false. Study after study has shown that undocumented immigrants are way less likely to commit crimes than U.S.-born citizens, and there has never been a major act of terror committed in the U.S. by an undocumented immigrant. Immigrants are not a threat to Americans' lives. ICE agents are. I'm Alan Piper at apiper13 and Piperama. Follow Courier Newsroom for the facts you need.